Here with reaction, the host of Outkick's, Tomi Lahren is fearless. Tomi Lahren. All right. I'm embarrassed you're teaching our kids. You called them evil. Here's the date. Here's the place. Here's the time. Who's evil? Humada. Wow, that was powerful.
You know, Sean, it's wild because convenient and selective amnesia seems to be impacting a whole lot of folks on the left and in the media, whether it's Joe Biden's cognitive decline or things that they have said themselves. They don't seem to remember all the horrible things that they once stood firmly by enough to say it on a podcast. And again, that's the problem with a lot of these folks. Everybody wants to have a podcast now. Well, if you say something on a podcast, then people are going to find it. They're going to resurrect it. You're going to have to answer for it. And I would also like to say, Senator Kennedy is, of course, the Aristotle of our time. The things that he says never get old.
They never get old. I mean, he's so much fun to listen to. We love having him on. All right, shifting gears, Democrats, they spent a whopping $20 million to figure out why men don't like Democrats. Well, the results are in. The first part of the results are in. After focus groups, Democrats are viewed as scripted, overly cautious, while Republicans are seen as confident. No kidding. That's pretty obvious. You know, what is this supposed to be? Hey, bro, what's going on, dude? Want to get a brewski? You want to go to the game? I mean, what? I mean, you have to manufacture, contrive how to talk to a man? I mean, because you think that's why you lost? I mean, how, you talk about a lack of authenticity. Jeez.
Yeah, Sean, they don't know how to interact with real people because they don't spend their time with real people. They don't spend their time with everyday Americans, certainly Americans in middle America or in the middle class. They spend their time with the coastal elites. That's why they need to spend $20 million to figure out how to talk to the rest of us. What else I would say to this is President Trump is a billionaire, right? New York City billionaire. He has had a lot of money for most of his life, right? But he still knows how to talk to people. So it's not a matter of having wealth or status, because you just have to care about people. President Trump cares about people. The secret ingredient is you just have to genuinely care, and it's quite obvious that Democrats really don't. They cosplay like they care when they're talking to different groups of people. They got to use their slang, they got to use their accent, their language, dress like them, talk like them, act like them, but they don't really care about them, and that's why they can't connect. Any number of podcasts or cringeworthy TikToks with tacos, it's not going to do it because y'all are fake or phony, and we get it. We see it. We see you for exactly who you are. Best of luck fixing that one.
Yeah, why don't they just be real? Why don't they be authentic? You know, instead of the woke identity politics that they always use. You know, I always find this pretty interesting to me, is they won't look at the fact that they screwed up the economy. They let, anywhere between 12 and 20 million unvetted illegals in the country. They lied about all of it. They lied about Joe's cognitive state. And then they're wondering, oh, well, maybe we just don't communicate with men very well, and that's why they don't like us. How about your policies suck? We're tired of the word police. We're tired of wokeism, transgenderism, and everything in between. Maybe that would be called introspection. Thoughts?
Well, Sean, that's much more difficult, though. It's much more difficult to have policies and agenda items that people actually like. That doesn't work so well for Democrats because they don't want to do the work. So they go for the low-hanging fruit, the identity politics, the woke things, the activist things, the things that thrill them and excite them. I quite frankly think that they're bored with everyday Americans. They don't want to talk about the economy. That's for peasants. They're so far above us, Sean.
I'm a peasant.
Keep losing elections and maybe you'll figure it out.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.